Hi, I'm Lynn Rideout. I lead Global Category Enablement here at WNS Denali, and really here to talk to you today about 3 tips for enablement success in 2021, really. So nothing earth-shattering to these things. There are really 3 things I think about. It's where do we want to go, what might prevent us from getting there, and how do we know that we're on our way? So pretty straightforward, but let's get into each of those and talk about them a little bit more in detail. So first of all, where do we want to go? When we think about enablement, it's probably good to take a step back and just understand the definition of enablement. Really, there are 2 definitions that talk about enablement. One is giving someone the means to do something. So, enabling or giving someone the means to be able to do something. And the other is activating a device or system. It may be pretty obvious that we're going to talk about giving someone or a team the means to do something. But really, I think that word activate, activating a system, actually is something that resonates as well. So just keep that in the back of your mind that when we talk about enablement, we're really helping our team, ourselves, our stakeholders be able to do something that they couldn't do otherwise as effectively as possible, or activating the team, activating ourselves. So first of all, where do we want to go? Tip number 1. Biggest thing to think about here is make it achievable, make it specific. So we can't just say, hey, we got 30 million savings last year, let's get 50 million this year and have no idea how we're going to do it. We have to be specific. We have to make sure that our team understands, if we're leading a team in procurement, why we're setting out certain actions for the year. If we're an individual, we have to know how that translates to what we specifically are going to do to accomplish things. So where do we want to go becomes important. I may want to run a marathon this year, but if I can't run a mile right now, I need to be a little bit more realistic in what I'm setting out as a goal, and then have a plan to build up to my long-term goal. So where do we want to go is first. Second, what might prevent us from getting there? And that may sound a little bit negative, but I think it's really good to anticipate barriers along the way. So a barrier to a procurement goal this year might be we don't have great spend data, or we don't yet have the relationships that we want to have with our stakeholders. So thinking ahead about those barriers and then understanding just how might we overcome those? Do we need help? Is there someone else in the business that can help us? Is there a peer that can help us? Is there an outside party? Is there an analytics solution? Is there a team that can help us to achieve our goals? So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to really fairly assess those barriers, and then figure out the right way forward, whatever that is. And it's going to be different in every organization. So what might prevent us from getting there? What's going to cause us to, not get in the car to take the journey, or, have a flat tire along the way? And just be really realistic about making sure we have a plan for that. And then third, how do we know we're on our way? So we figured out what might be barriers. We've planned for those barriers. We've gotten help. We've thought about what really might be a key to success. And now we're on our way. How do we know that we're going the right direction? How do we know that there isn't, something that's taking longer than it should? So figuring out, if I know where I'm going and I'm getting on my way, how am I going to check in to make sure that I'm proceeding the way that I want to? In the procurement world, this might be, things like really good sound metrics. This might be checking in with our people on a regular basis to make sure we said, you're going to work on this goal. Are we actually making progress against it? Again, don't be afraid to ask for help here. Understand what people's strengths are, what their areas of opportunity are, and use those to your best advantage to make sure the right people are doing the right things at the right time. So how do we know we're on our way becomes, what checkpoints do we need from a people, process, technology standpoint to know that our journey is going the way that we want it to. And again, the final tip that I'll leave you with is, think long-term, understand how the short-term goals fold into the long-term success factors that we're thinking about. So really, if you think about those 3 things, those are the best enablement tips I can give you for 2021 and should send you on your way.